Hello, welcome back. This is African King Academy with another episode of the Club World Cup journey. Another day, another video, and we move on to the next group, Group G, as the first games of Group G came about. I think with this group, I think it's pretty simple which two teams are gonna get through. I think the most interesting group game from this group will be Juventus versus Man City. I think it'll be very interesting to see how they match up with each other. Which one will top the group? Will they get a draw? Will it be a win either way? Because I think both had very different performances, but as a whole, both very good performances. For Man City, they got the goal early on against Wydad, and I think once they got that first goal, if I felt like it calms you down as the bigger team, when you're coming up against a team like this, you want that early goal just so that even if they're in a low block, it means that they have to come out. And I think from then, City was able to control the match. Um, they didn't play at their scintillating best, but you don't really have to. I feel like uh, in the start of the tournament, they just needed to get the points on the board, which they did. A good first goal from Foden, then followed up by a second before half time, and I think in the second half they just uh, controlled the ball, do what they do best, controlled the game, didn't really do much. Obviously, Dad had a couple chances, but I feel like it was just a more of a comfortable game for Man City. I think they didn't have to go beyond second gear. I will say this: they are unfortunate to get a red card. I think Rico Lewis's challenge wasn't worthy of that, in my opinion. Towards the end of the game, especially considering it was the 88th minute, the game was over at that point. So I don't think it was a red card. So he's gonna miss a game or miss the next game. But overall, I think there's still a bit more I need to see from Man City. I still need to see a bit more from Ryan Cherky. Uh, Reinders looks good. It'll be interesting to see how they introduce Rodri with more minutes over the coming games as well. And overall, I think it was just a very comfortable performance. They were able to make some changes, be able to not have to use the strongest 11 and still end up winning the game. Good second goal from Doku. And I like what I'm seeing from City. I think in terms of his team, this tournament will be good for them. I think they can use it to understand each other, add in the new names, right? Add in Reinders, add in Cherky, and look to improve the team. I would like to see Ait Nori as well. I'm not sure if he's going to be available for. Maybe I want to see him play the next game because I want to see that Ait Nori Haaland connection. Um, so I do want to see that. But outside of that, I don't think there was much else for City to do. I think they pretty much dominated possession, had the majority of the chances, and came away with a comfortable 2-0 win. And a very good start to the Club World Cup campaign. It wasn't a major statement. It wasn't a scintillating performance. It pretty much felt like the Chelsea game. How I felt about the Chelsea game. It was just a standard win with nothing more. And it'll be interesting to see how far they get into the tournament. On the other hand, the other team in their group, in Juventus, had a dominant performance. Uh, with the talent that they have on as their tens in Yildiz and Conceição balling out, Al Ain didn't stand a chance. Kolo Mawani got a couple as well. He looked very sharp with his finishing. And yeah, man, I like what I'm seeing from this Juventus attack. I think it's very interesting. I don't know if Kolo Mawani's going to be signed permanently or is it just a loan signing. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with that situation. Yeah, I like the. I'm not the biggest fan of a three back formation, but it worked well for them. I think they have a lot of quality in midfield and up front, and those two young attackers are players that they're gonna have to do a lot to keep in the long term because I think Yildiz and Gonzalo have the potential to be great ballers. And the thing about Juve is this: they need to go back to becoming the top team in Italy again for those players to want to stay in the long term. So there's going to be a lot of teams looking at Yildiz and Conceição as players that can improve their teams. And it was just a 5-star performance from Juventus. I think they dominated in every aspect of the game. Uh, Obviously, Awain had a couple chances, but outside of that, I think when it came to both of these games, for me, I just think the bigger teams showed up on the day and did the business. They got it done. It wasn't really anything else you could say. I think in the long run, Juventus let's say Juventus City ends in a draw. You probably more likely see Juventus end up being on top on goal difference at this current stage, unless City kind of pick it up in their game against Al Ain and get a similar scoreline. But I think the way Juventus of going forward look, I think they'll demolish Wydad, and it will just be down to the game against City to see who tops the group, and that can be a big effect on who they play in the next rounds and how easy or how difficult their route is to the Club World Cup final. So I think for both of these teams, I think good wins, a much better performance from Juve than Man City. But it'll be interesting to see how these two teams match up against each other, the rotations they have to do over the coming weeks as well. Because I feel like with the quick turnaround of games, I don't think you can use the same team each week. And yeah, there's not really much else to say. I don't know. I feel like I just need to see a bit more from Manchester City. It'll be interesting to see the different tactics they use when they change up the team, and then Juve. That those two tens for me, man, they were unreal. Um, Yildiz is a player that I would look to sign if I need a left winger. It's for my club, but I think they're trying to probably put him into some long term contract so he's not available unless it's for big money, because I think he's going to be a player. He's one of those young Turkish talents that's going to go for big money and has the potential to blow. Him and Arda Güler, I think, are two of the brightest talents coming out of that country. And yeah, man, it's nice. It's nice that it's nice to see an Italian team do well after the disappointment that I got from Inter. And yeah, man, Juve is looking solid. It's not the be and all for the group. I think we'll see how good Juve really are once they play City. But yeah, in terms of Wydad and Alain, it's just unfortunate um that they're in this group. I think with two teams that are just way better than them. Obviously, they tried. They put in good efforts, but I just think it was never gonna be, especially for Wydad when they conceded early. Once you concede early, you don't really have a chance to get back against a team like City, especially a possession-based team like them. And just Juve just were just too much. They just overpowered Alain. But yeah, outside of that, not much else really to say about this group. I look forward to the Juve Man City game. I actually even look forward to Wydad versus Al Ain. I want to see who actually finishes third and fourth between them two. So that I think if those fixtures are in the similar time period, then yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see how that changes the dynamics of the group as well for me. But that is me. This is another episode of the Club World Cup journey. I'm out. Peace.